Hello everyone! I am X the Turtle 69 here, back with a brand new video. And today, guys, note that I forgot to fix up my Rift wireless earbud headphones before I started doing this video because I'm just stupid. So I'm doing that now real quick. Alright, so I'm back. And now I wanted to give you guys a bit of a... So, considering that my overall boom recently when it comes to my channel, I thought that it would be fun for me to do a bit of a, special thing for all of you guys, to get to know me a little better. So, with that in mind, here's a bit of stuff that you may or may not know about me. So, I guess, let me first start with my art. Now, see, for over 10 years now, I've been a comic book artist, working on a solo comic book that I not only write, not only draw, but color. Basically, everything is me. Everything is done by me when it comes to my comic. And it is very hyped up by almost everyone who knows me because they read it and it is a legitimately good comic according to them. But the thing is, a lot of people ask also, why do I do it in black and white? They think that it's, a little bit of a maybe some people have said like maybe it's supposed to represent the dark levels of society because, I have dark humor. Maybe it's because... Alright, so what's the real reason why I do my comics in black and white? I mean, obviously I can do it in color. These two pieces were made around the same time, in the same year at least. This is a beautifully shaded chess piece on a beautifully made chessboard that my parents have literally dubbed that I am putting it up on my wall because it is just so nicely made. I must admit, one of my better pieces. And this piece, which has some of the best shading that I've ever done, but it's in color. Now, you might be wondering, why? Oh, obviously you can do this, so it's not an inability. Why? It's very simple. And no, it's not anything that's like... It's not a society thing or anything. No, no, no. The reason why my comic is entirely in black and white is because the printer that I work with is entirely in fucking black and white. I work with the materials I'm given. That's why I'm actually so good at shading. Another thing of note that you may or may not know is that a good chunk, a good few bits of the stuff, namely a good bit of the more, I'd say, relatively more expensive stuff, at least a few things of the more expensive stuff in my setup, are actually bought by me. For example, I opened it, built it, and everything on a live stream, but this microphone is a $70 professional gaming microphone. Sorry, not professional gaming, but professional podcast microphone that I got on Amazon for 30 bucks. It is entirely mine. I bought it with my own money. And it serves me well. But yeah, this is also the only piece of equipment that I have in my entire, well, other than my capture card, this is the only piece of equipment that is fully professional. I bought these headphones myself around a little bit earlier than the mic But these headphones are mine, and I bought them because I needed a new pair of headphones, and they were $50. Speaking of the headphones, I know how to repair them. You see, it has a little bit of blue sticking out in some of the places. You may or may not be able to see. Like right there. Right here, it's a little blue compared to the rest of it. Skull Candy has decided to go a mixture of both routes. For my example, I have a pair of very old on wired headphones. They're kind of shitty, all things considered. That they have a mic that goes up and down, I guess. I have the wired pair of headphones that I used to use all the time, with my signature dangle here. And I have my old gaming headset. Now, this has these muffs that I cannot take off. These are like secured onto there. But also, these pads in here have never threatened ripping off. By the way, those are actually good quality professional headphones. These ones also you also can't take these off. But also these don't threaten ripping off. But also they're like secure onto there, and yeah. These ones, I actually believe that you can in fact take these off. Yes. But the thing is, the padding covers the entire headphone. Oh yeah, and they're also glued on, I guess. But yeah. So what is the Rift 2 Wireless's stance on this? Well, it's 3 parts. There is a more cotton, there's a sheet of cotton/fabric that acts as, well, basically so we got the fabric on one layer. We got the entire thing that keeps it all together, the other layer. And then we got a blue sort of cushion, which I probably need to wash considering how much this has gone through. But yeah. Another thing that is probably less known about me is that here is my desk. And you might see it as a mess, but that's because it has horrible lighting. Anyway though, I usually keep my gaming headsets up there on that. And I usually sometimes I keep a headset dangling from here. You know, free real estate. But yeah. I keep my lights on throughout the night, and I keep them green because I almost only it's green. It's very comforting, and both the remotes are right next to me at almost all times. Okay, so one question that I get asked a lot is T or X. Why do you always break your wireless headphones or your headphones in general? Like, seriously, kid. How do you manage to always freaking break them? And to that, I reply very simply. Late at night, and this is why I find earbuds superior at times. Late at night, sometimes when I'm, oh yes, also my setup is literally on my bed. When I'm, laying down, going for a nice honk me. Let me just move this over here. So I'll be over here, just, sometimes messing around with my mic, just down here, want to lay down a bit, have my nice neck pillow. I'll put my headphones on and lay down like this, watching my phone, or playing games on my TV over there. Now, you might be wondering, why is this an issue for wireless headphones? Well, because almost every single wireless headphone pair that I've done this with has broken in some way or another. Either it's not elasticable enough, or it's either not, built enough for it, somehow it gets compressed too much, somehow it gets somehow it gets bent too much, any way, shape, or form. These ones won't because they have a very long range of motion. They still don't have the top band. Believe it or not, someone has asked me this before. Do you have a smart home assistant? You're a tech person. You have all this tech stuff. Do you have a smart home assistant? I'm not sure if you could see it on the desk reveal. However, I do have a smart assistant. My entire family has smart assistants. This is an Echo. That is an Echo Dot. We call her the Faceless Lady because saying her name will automatically activate her. Isn't that right? I know that you're always listening. Fun fact, Tech actually does listen to you. You can be talking about I would be talking about something that I don't talk about normally at all, and then suddenly a lot of advertisements talking about it. That is not a myth, that is not a conspiracy theory, that is actual fact, and that is why a lot of things ask for your microphone on, which explains why whenever you don't have your microphone on, the apps don't listen to you, because they can't. However, I always have my microphone on, because I always have a sort of headset on at any given time. Another thing that I've been asked. What was your first console? Now, I have two answers to this. The technically correct answer and the actual answer that you guys want. So the technically correct answer is, I believe, the Leapfrog. Also known as the Leapster Explorer, because that's technically a console. However, my real first console was a new Nintendo 3DS XL, which to this day I still have, and it's literally right over there. And yes, since the release of the Switch 2, me and my friends have gotten it upgraded. We've dumped games onto it and everything. I have a few of my friends' games on it now. So yeah. Anyway, though, my first ever console that I've actually owned, besides the Leapfrog, because in all technicality, I'm borrowing my 3DS from my uncle, but he doesn't really play it anymore. He has a Switch. Well, my Nintendo Switch. Do you have a smartwatch? Is also another question that I've been asked. Most of these things are questions that I've been from people who have asked me this stuff. Not exactly in comments, but I've actually met a few of my audience in real life. But also these are just some random questions that I think of so that can understand who I am better. And though, yes, I do have a smartwatch. I actually have two. So this was my first smartwatch, called the Leap Band, and more recently, as in it's been less than a month since I've gotten this, although it's getting a little closer to a month, I think. Anyway, though, yes, I now do have a smartwatch. And the watch faces Hatsune Miku. So take of that what you will. But yeah. And yes, I do wear it when I'm sleeping. Why did you do your face reveal so early? Um, because I could. And because I trust myself to not give away any private information. Seriously. There have been multiple times that I've actually slipped up. However, I always delete those videos. And also my parents comb through my videos to make sure that I don't show any personal information. Yes, I do have a capture card. I think I made an honest review about it, but I do have a capture card. And that's why my video quality has been getting better and better and better. Because I know that there's going to be some random girl or random guy in my comments asking this eventually, so I can put them to this. I am a Taurus. However, I do not believe in astronomy signs because I think that that's all stupid. Even though apparently I act like a Taurus, but honestly, I act like a Taurus, but mostly people say that because I'm very, I guess, mostly because it's loyal. I'm also a Hufflepuff. I'm very loyal, but I'm not as loyal as I used to be because I've been hurt multiple times before. So yeah. I've actually won a trophy. And no, I don't mean a participation trophy or anything. And yes, I do mean an actual competition trophy. And no, it's not. And no, it's not a gaming trophy. And I think I'm gonna surprise you with it. Though, and then you're gonna be even more surprised by the explanation of it. Don't believe me? Hold on, sorry, my earbuds are getting in the way. Here you go. First place javelin toss. I know, kind of out of left field. The story behind it? Well, dur- during an event with my group with my during Conclave, which is a DMLA event. Look DMLA up. It's pretty fun. It's really, really fun. And it's really fun, really Christian, / other monotheistic religions, but most of us are Christian. Um, it's really, really fun. We get to hang out a lot. And we value charity. Anyway, though, enough of that yapping. So the whole thing is, I actually did not want to participate or do any of this stuff. So how in the hell did I get a trophy? Well, I went with my father and helped him set up the javelin toss. Now you might be starting to think that this was rigged. However, I'm about to tell you something that will completely wipe that away because it was impossible for this to be rigged. See, the second place winner and I both threw the javelin when it was not windy. And I guess it's done beating around the bush here because the reason why wind is so important is because these javelins were being thrown outside on a very windy day after a tornado warning. So, and when the storm was, when, the rain was, it was, still gonna rain, it literally rained the, right after, during that day. Actually, during every single day that we were at Conclave, I believe it, rained. However, tornado warning, and this all happened. And so yeah, very windy, obviously. Um, Now it's time for the kicker, because these javelins were pool noodles without any counterweight. Now imagine throwing a pool noodle in the wind, trying to throw it pretty far. I'd say about like easily over 10 feet against the wind. We tried to fix it by moving it in a different way. The wind changed. Thunder, am I right? Jesus. 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 Okay, the thunder just stopped. It had been going on for like 3 seconds before I said, Thunder, am I right? Anyway, though, so I won with 55 points. Um, the whole thing was get it into the hoop. So get it to the line of the hoop was 5, 10, 15, 20. Then if you get it in or touching the hoop, one of the hoops, it was 10, 15, 20, 25. So an extra 5 points. I barely managed to get 55 points. None of us expected this to happen. We turned into a score sheet, and that's how I won first place at Illinois DMLA 2025 Javelin Toss. Note that the second place winner and I just so happened to both throw during a time that there was no wind, and we both threw it pretty decently. Now, I will admit, I had a bit of practice beforehand. However, we were letting we were letting them our contestants have a bit of practice before we started racking up the points, simply because of how scuffed this thing was. So I won by trying to do absolutely nothing. At that time, I also played Mario Kart. So yeah, I just have a trophy for that. So on a different topic, games. What games do I like? Well, I'm a big fan of a lot of stuff, but I would have to say that the game that I am the biggest fan of, the biggest game, my most favorite game, has to be Hollow Knight. It's the only game that I've ever actually joined the community with. Like, I'm in the Hollow Knight community. I have done some speedrun stuff. I watch a lot of Hollow Knight stuff. I play Hollow Knight. I have actually 100%ed Hollow Knight on multiple different things, including on Amazon's cloud-based gaming platform, simply to say that I could. And no, I still have not beaten Pantheon 5. Pantheon 5 is fucking stupid. So I used to get this question asked of me a lot whenever I was playing any action game, but, quote, are you playing Doom? And then it was always, oh, you're not playing Doom? Have you played Doom? Until recently. And when I say until recently, I mean until, like, literally, I think a day or two after I got my watch. The answer to that question is no. However, now I have played Doom. I've actually beaten Doom 2016, and it is really, really decent. What is my favorite song? I've actually been asked this by a few fans, including a fan of mine that is currently helping, and a part ally of mine who is currently helping me build 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 up on the case with the control with the Wind Chaser plus Youth Edition controller. We're currently learning how it works and everything, and any issues. Um, so the thing about this is that my favorite song is, and you're listen. I'm the person that has Hatsune Miku who as my watch face, so don't laugh at me when I say that my favorite song is Dizzy Paranoia Girl, which is a Kakane Teto song. Here's some questions that I've had to answer to multiple people because as a technician, I obviously have to answer these questions. As my friend group's technician, I have to answer these questions even though they're dumb. No, the battery to your freaking controller isn't gonna shock me unless it is 500. Isn't gonna hurt me unless it is high voltage. No, your controller battery isn't gonna hurt me if it discharges on me. Those things hold enough to just be like, fuck, but not enough to go, not enough to actually fry me, but it's gonna hurt. This is why I disconnect the power. Yes, I am technically getting your components wet. No, it's not gonna freaking matter because one, I shut off all of that, and two, I am using isopropyl alcohol. Why does isopropyl alcohol work? Isopropyl alcohol is a very, very useful agent, especially when it comes to disinfectant, but also especially when it comes to cleaning circuitry, because not only does it have a very, very good disinfectant and cleaning agent in it. So it's really good at cleaning, really good at disinfecting, and really good at getting all those nasty stains and grease off of your controller. But also, the thing about isopropyl alcohol, the thing about alcohol in general, is that it dries up real fast. Like, to put it into perspective, I had a little bit of an accident where I dumped some isopropyl alcohol on the isopropyl alcohol bottle from it. So I picked it up and I put it onto my desk and I felt it and I was just like, alright, it'll dry. Now, I keep it next to my books, so you might be wondering, why in the heck would you put, and these are paperbacks, by the way, why in the heck would you put liquid why in the heck would you put liquid that could, ruin your books next to your books? And to that, I simply say, less than 10 minutes later, the entire thing was gone. I spilt it on my blanket, on my bed sheets. I went to the bathroom, and it was done. It was gone. Isopropyl alcohol really, really quickly fades. And, dries. Do I have an amiibo? People ask me this. I've been asked this because I'm a big Nintendo fan. And when I say I'm a big Nintendo fan, I mean I'm a big fan of Nintendo IPs. I'm not one of those Nintendo fanboys that's going to kiss the feet of the current president of Nintendo simply because these losers are emulating split screen. No. If you're not gonna sell us the games, then it's not wrong. If you're not gonna sell the games anymore, then it's not wrong to get them emulated. Anyway, though, I'm a fan of Nintendo IPs. That means, and there's a big difference, because I don't like what Nintendo is doing. However, I'm a big fan of Pokemon. I don't I don't I hate that Nintendo's banning Switch 2 users for stuff that they can't really control. However, I do really like the Zelda games. There's a difference. And I'm not going to buy a Switch 2 because they're banning a lot of Switch 2 users. So yeah, I'm not a Nintendo fanboy. I'm just a fan of Nintendo IPs. Have you ever made a really poor financial decision? Yes, moving on. This is in the same rope as the Nintendo as am I a Nintendo fan? Have I ever purchased an amiibo or amiibo cards? If so, what? Oh, if so, was it the amiibo or the amiibo cards? And why? I own an amiibo, not an amiibo card, an amiibo. That means that yes, I own a highly expensive hunk of plastic that gives me rewards uh, per that gives me one scan a day for rewards, and it is Daruk. I got this before Tears of the Kingdom came out. I got this specifically because I love Varudania, and I wanted the Varudania to find out. I still do use them. Now, as per usual when it comes to content creators, I'm assuming that there's someone out there who has asked, "Hey, what is your answered personal information here?" My answer to that is, quote, "No, no, 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 no. I'm not going to give you my personal information. Thank you." Why would the brand loyalty? Here's the thing. It's despite how many brands I'm loyal to, it's actually very hard to get my loyalty. The thing is, I'm very critical about the things that I get. So when it comes to brand loyalty, it's very simple actually. You have to provide a very, very good product that I personally love. Not even just like, I have to adore it. And that loyalty can be taken away at any given point. However, if you do not, as long as I don't get ticked off at your brand, you're going to have a customer for life. Because I will cut other brands out of my life. I have done so before. I really only loyal to I'm really only actually loyal to 2 brands, and only one of them I will consider an actual full-on brand loyalty, because I'm not actually I wouldn't say that I'm actually loyal to Nintendo. I'm gonna say that I like their content enough that I will buy, that after, everything gets cleared up, I might buy a Switch 2. However, that's only because I've already angered Nintendo enough. Now, the brand that I'm actually loyal to is Skull Candy, and that's because I listen to music on a quite frequent basis, and I also always have an headphones on or earbuds in. So, it's kind of a big thing to me for them to be exactly to my standards. And my standards are very high. Usually I'm more easy. Uh, it's actually kind of simple. The things that I don't care as much about, I am very easy with. The things that I do care about, which is very few and far between, I am very picky about. Skull candy just so happens to be the right mix between exactly what I want, exactly what is required for me, and looks cool. When I first started making um content, I mean, I actually have never made a full face reveal because my face has always been out on the internet. And yes, I have actually worked with multiple YouTubers that and Twitch streamers that have not done their face reveal. For example, I do work closely with at a good chunk of the time with the creative type. He is my best friend, one of my best friends, and we hang out quite often. However, I don't act. However, we always have to make sure that all my face cams are positioned in a way that he won't get his face revealed. Because, you know, why do some of my older videos have lacking audio? Well, it's very, very simple. I used to use not actually good. No, I'll put it very, very simple for you. I was an amateur and I did not know what the fuck OBS was, so I didn't use OBS. Should you go and watch my older videos despite them not having audio? No. Older me, younger me was a different breed, let's just say. Here's a big one that I'm have been saving for last. Any tips for new content creators? Very, very simple. There are 3 paths that you can take. And as much as I hate to admit it, the outcome is still going to be pretty much the same, even if you differ these paths. And it's not like what kind of content you can make, it is your intent. It is going in for it as a business. Into it for the money. You can have it doesn't matter if you're still having fun with it. If you care about the money, too, if you care about the money and try your best to get it monetized, 10 to 1, at least a bit of your audience is going to be thinking that you're only in it for the money, which is not always a bad thing, but you can't make it define your career. 2, you're not in it for the money. Money is always appreciated to you, but you're not exactly, doing this just to, try to milk all the money out. And it's something that you actually do want to be a content creator, but you actually try to be popular, try to appease the masses, or try to find a specific niche for you. And then there's number 3. You really only want to be a content creator because you want to entertain people or because you think that it's cool, but really all that you're there for is fun. Now, I can only give you the answer for the third one because that's what I am. But I can give you a little bit of tips for that probably will help for everything besides probably the first one, because honestly I don't know what to do with the first one because I've seen a lot of YouTubers fall because it came out that they were only in it for the money. And that makes audiences feel like they're being used. So basically, what you're going to want to do is, if you want to take the risk, immediately go. Basically, just hop on all the bandwagons of everyone who's currently doing popular stuff. New game releases, hop on it. New challenges, hop on it. But that's a risk because, people's favorite YouTubers are always already doing that. Instead, do stuff with older content. And if you really want to get your name out there, do your research. I don't do my research, but that's because I don't really care if I get popular or not. No, not to say that I'm ungrateful and, not gonna. I'm grateful that I'm getting more popular and I am thrilled about it, but it's not for the money and it's not for the popularity. I just do this for fun. So, me doing this for fun means that I can just do the newer content, new stuff that people want. However, I will admit that most of my popularity has been seen in a very specific niche that I am pretty much the only one that does content on. Another thing is that you want to have a consistent upload schedule if you actually want to make it out there. Being consistent about your uploads is very, very big. You might note that there's not a lot of content creators out there like, let's say, Michael Reeves, who might post once in a blue moon. The thing is, you gotta give your audience what they want, and you gotta build that. But always have a backup, because YouTube almost never works out. You gotta appease the YouTube gods. You gotta appease the old algorithm. Now, once you get a loyal fan base, I'd say that once you get a pretty loyal fan base, you can start doing what you want. Once you get to a comfortable space, I'd say that you're at a very comfortable space. Once you hit your first, I'd say, million subscribers. Once you hit 1,000,000 subscribers, of course, this is my opinion. This is my opinion for the most comfort. And some people might change. Actually, my idea of, and that's actually, it's mostly just a general, the 1,000,000 subscribers thing. I'd say that my comfort thing is around a few 100,000 subscribers. I'd be comfortable. But your comfort can change. And once you're comfortable, then you can start experimenting with other things. Or, if you're like me, just throw crap on the fan at the wall, not caring if anything sticks, and and continue doing the content that you want. Now, if you don't actually care about making it on the platform, but you do want to be nice and appeal to some people, say, like for me, I have a responsibility about answering anyone's questions on the controller that I can. Well, make those videos, but also do what you want. YouTube, the thing is, YouTube advertises it as a place where you can get, where it looks like it's a place where you can get big. You can get a lot of money simply by making videos that you love. However, that's not exactly how it works. You gotta appease the algorithm. You gotta appease your viewers. It is an actual job to do YouTube here. And sometimes you don't get to do what you want. If you want to be a full-time YouTuber and make this your company, you don't always get to be a full-on not all of the time you get to do what exactly you want. And also, I will say this. Very, very few YouTubers actually get big. Big. Very few YouTubers are able to confidently say that they are pretty decently off and don't have to rely on other methods. Many of your beloved YouTubers that aren't, many of the, your favorite YouTubers that aren't, really, really high in subscriber counts, such as, not your Markipliers, Jacksepticeye's, PewDiePie's, but the, lesser ones, like, I don't know, Fritonga and others. They either have a side hustle. Sorry, they are either treating YouTube as their side hustle / just a fun thing to do. Meanwhile, they actually have a legitimate job. They have a Patreon, a Twitch account, a Twitch channel that they do a lot more stuff on. YouTube is not exactly the best place to get money. And if you want to get money fast without having to do as much, well, I'm sorry, but that's not always going to work. And also, definitely do not go into this only being in for the money. And if you do, definitely don't let your viewers know, because that is a surefire way to get a lot of people upset. I think that the fact that I've been doing content for so long, with such little subscribers up until now, and just doing exactly what I want, and also having basically all the time saying that this is just for fun, proves that I'm number 3. I don't really care. Heck, I always say it, but all the money that I make from this channel, if I do, will immediately go right back into the channel. And I might start making money soon, because I actually did get my first ad on my video, which kind of annoyed me, and I believe I ended up turning off the advertisements, simply because I'm not making money. Now, I will say that I'll say this. I don't care if YouTube takes a cut of takes some of the money that my videos make. But if YouTube's gonna make money off of my videos without me making money, if YouTube's going to reap all of the if YouTube's going to reap all of the benefits of my channel without giving me diddly jack squat, that's a little unfair to me. And, I'm gonna turn off my ads, because if I'm not making ad revenue from them. Oh, that's another thing. I don't care about appeasing the algorithm. I do what I... It's my channel. I do what I want, and if you don't like that... But that is some stuff about me. If you guys did enjoy this, feel free to like, subscribe, comment down below, share. All the stuff that you do helps out a ton. Even just watching the video helps out a ton with the channel. If I ever do start making money again, it's gonna be, all of the money is immediately gonna go back into the channel. And, well, yeah. At this time, we are at... Come on, YouTube load. At this time, we are at 47 subscribers. And at 50 subscribers, I will do. What should I do at 50 subscribers? I'll. I need to give you guys a comment down below what you guys think that I should do for a incentive at 50 subscribers, because I did a 35 subscriber special, but 50 subscribers is, really big. That's almost close to triple digits. So, yeah. I mean, I'm hopefully gonna have some more money soon, so I can actually start spending some money on this channel. Comment down below what you guys think I should do. With that being said, see ya.